Marshall, you've got to come over at once. It's urgent.
What is it, Tim?
A plot hole. A big one.
Is it from the commander?
No, I discovered it on my own.
If it isn't sanctioned by the commander, then I don't have to come.
I still have the negatives.
Whoever this is can go fuck himself!
I have hummus.
Gimme!
After we fix the plot hole.
So what is this plot hole of which you speak of?
There are no adults and a boy named Charlie Brown.
Oh, good grief. Of course there are no adults in a Charlie Brown. It's about a boy named Charlie Brown. I mean, it focuses on the kids.
You don't understand, man. You don't see the adults. You don't smell the adults. You don't even hear the adults. All you hear is that funky trombone sound. Maybe you could get away with it in a daily strip, or a half-hour special, but a full-length movie? Charlie Brown and Lucy and Linus and all the rest accomplish so many things without adult supervision that it boggles the mind. I mean, Charlie Brown and his baseball team play a ball game with no umpire, and you never even see the other team. It's a phantom team. And then Charlie Brown volunteers to be in a spelling bee. And then he wins. And then all of a sudden he has to go to the National Spelling Bee in New York City with no mention of chaperones or parental permission. And it's televised without a film crew or cameras. It just doesn't add up.
Or we could say that there are adults and the film just doesn't show them because it would disrupt the narrative flow that the creators were going for.
Yeah, dude, it might be because I don't have my hummus, but I think Marshall's right. You are overthinking this.
Am I? Or are you two underthinking it? Look at Charlie Brown walking in his neighborhood. There are no cars on the street. How do you explain that? You explain it because there are no adults to drive the cars.
Or the story could take place on a day when the cars had to be moved to the other side of the street?
Yeah, and you see cars later on in the movie. When Charlie Brown wins the class spelling bee, he takes the bus. And then Linus and Snoopy join up with him because Charlie Brown has Linus's blanket.
Of course you're right. There are cars in this movie.
Well, I'm glad you've come to your senses.
The cars appear after Charlie Brown wins the spelling bee. His powers over the universe are exerting themselves.
What?
Peter, that's brilliant. Charlie Brown has been given subconscious powers over the nature of reality itself.
What?
Powers that he's been given by Mr. Mixie Spitlick.
What?
This movie does not take place on this Earth. It takes place, as Captain Kirk would say,
Another Earth.
Are you suggesting that A Boy Named Charlie Brown is set on the double Earth from the Star Trek original series episode Miri?
yeah.
Charlie Brown and Star Trek. Zimixelplix. B. Arthur. Hummus.
Look what you did! You broke Peter!
It would appear so. Luckily, we are prepared for this. It's happened. I need you to execute Emergency Contingency Plan V.
What's Emergency Contingency Plan V?
V is for ventriloquist.
Which one of you is unconscious? It's always hard for me to tell.
Me too.
Peter is down. We need him to help finish fixing this hole. You know what to do.
Fantastic.
I'm stupid and ugly, and then I blow my nose on my hands and I don't wash them.
Good point, Peter. In Mary, the actor who plays John would go on to play Mr. Mixie Spitlick on The Adventures of Superboy. And that, of course, means they are the same person.
Same person?
Yes, every person an actor plays is the same.
Does that mean that Wolverine is Jean Valjean?
Yes, he is French-Canadian.
My pants are made out of triangles.
Peter's right. We should get back to the topic at hand. Mixie Spitlick arrives on Mary World, calls himself John, and creates an energy field around Charlie Brown that lets him unwittingly control the universe around him with his subconscious. This is why the laws of physics do not apply to Charlie Brown, and he can do things like stand on top of dandelions without crushing them, This is why Lucy justifies the laws of gravity. This is why he can clone himself with spores.
God bless the spore clones.
So why is Mr. Mixia-Spitlick doing this?
I know the answer. It's to set up a trap for Superboy. Giving subconscious space-time bending powers to a paranoid manic depressive like Charlie Brown will cause rips in the fabric of the space-time continuum to appear, and this will lure Superboy to the Miri world.
In Jurassic Park, there are fucking dinosaurs. There are fucking dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Of course not, Peter. Superboy can't stop the rips by killing Charlie Brown. For one thing, Superboy doesn't kill. For another thing, Charlie Brown is a focal point for this phenomenal cosmic power. Destroying him, it would be like opening the floodgates. It could be bad.
How bad?
Elephants will run the mouth shops.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Which could cause a chain reaction that would unravel the very fabric of the space-time continuum and destroy the entire universe.
Really bad. But it doesn't matter because Mr. Mixie-Spitlick's plan is a bust anyway. Superboy never shows up.
He's at home, washing his tights.
This is a bummer, man.
Random phrasing of words!
Say, that is an intriguing idea. Snoopy is a Time Lord.
A Time Lord?
His doghouse is bigger on the inside, as is his dog dish, and his dog suitcase, which he uses to carry his dog's speaker system.
So, Snoopy is a Time Lord. What does that have to do with Mr. Mixia-Spitlick?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
It's just incredibly cool.
And this is incredibly stupid.
Boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
So because Charlie Brown's powers are based in his subconscious, they manifest according to his emotional state. So when he loses a baseball or a tic-tac-toe game, the world is desolate and lonely. Then when he wins the class spelling bee, the world starts reasserting itself. Now he never brings back the adults because he's nervous about the national spelling bee, but he does have enough positive energy to bring back the cars and cause a traffic jam.
If there are no adults, then who drives the cars?
Didn't you see the love bug? Cars can drive themselves.
Wait a minute. When Charlie Brown, Linus, and Snoopy return from the spelling bee, the bus pulls into the station and you can clearly see the silhouette of an adult-sized bus driver.
There are adults in the Peanuts world. This whole unauthorized mission is null and void.
This mission is unauthorized? Sweet, now I get to report you guys to the commander.
Not so fast! I knew the adult-sized silhouette would be brought up, so I have an answer for that! The bus driver was Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Yes, as we've established, this story takes place on Mary's world, and it also takes place concurrently with the episode Mary. While Dr. McCoy was looking for the cure to the plague, Captain Kirk decided he would make some money on the side.
So he became a bus driver.
Yeah, he did. And then at the end of the movie, Charlie Brown's powers over time and space splits the time stream into two separate streams. And that is why we have two versions of True Grit.
True Grit?
Yes.
Because the girl who played Mary also played Maddie.
Yeah, that's right.
You have officially lost it. Admittedly, there wasn't much to lose.
You think you can do better?
Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is the best. There are adults in this world, which is our world, not Mary's world. They simply don't factor into the story.
Marshall, for once in your life, use your imagination!
Okay, A Boy Named Charlie Brown takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where Charlie Brown and the Peanuts gang are survivors of a genetic plague that wiped out the rest of the population and made the survivors regress in age. Charlie Brown is an adult trapped in a child's body. In fact, only Charlie Brown survived the apocalypse, and all the other kids are projections of his survivor's guilt.
I'm not feeling it.
Well, alright, then how about this? A Boy Named Charlie Brown takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where Charlie Brown and the Peanuts gang are survivors of a genetic plague that wiped out the rest of the population and made the survivors regress in age. Charlie Brown is an adult trapped in a child's body. In fact, only Charlie Brown survived the apocalypse, and all the other kids are projections of his survivor's guilt.
That is fucking brilliant.
That is fantastic.
Alright then. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Can I have my hummus now?
Sure. Wait a minute. We can't end like this. Dance party.
What's going on?
Don't ask questions if you don't want the answers.
Just go with it, man.
From all of us at Triple P, good luck and good luck.
Start today. Hey, it looks a little cloudy. Hey, but that's okay, 'cause he's Joe